and welcome. This is Mafanatics, where we are crazy about sport. Guys, first of all, thank you for your patience. We were supposed to go live at 8 p.m. We could not. We believe that there's some level of sabotage going on because we had a test that went well.
Yes.
That's what happened at 8 p.m.
Exactly.
Who's trying to hack into our Facebook account?
We have to face it. Wow, what to Maliza?
The show must go on.
The show, freedom
and
for
today,
Kenya.
I'm sick of my co-hosts. I have my own friend here.
What's that?
The Gunnosaurus, who is the official Arsenal mascot, and he or she is going to spend the entire hour with me. My name is Radull.
Kieni Githinji, and I think you've been seeing a psychiatrist who has actually told you walk around with that guy.
No.
No.
Let me ask you.
You can't hold your love everywhere.
Can I tell you something? This is a person who's going through a lot of personal situations. You see people holding toys like that. That means they're suffering.
Right.
Secondly, this
And just for our audience, this has nothing to do with our sabotage. This one was an add-on.
This is a mental issue.
Roy, this is the official Arsenal mascot who they are trying to retrench.
Okay.
He was being made redundant because they are cutting costs. And there are no funds to entertain, and they've lost money because of COVID.
So they don't need a mascot?
Well, there's a whole campaign to make sure the mascot stays. Mr. Ozil has said that he'll personally pay the mascot's salary as long as he's an Arsenal player.
How much are they paying the mascot that they say they're cutting costs? You know, companies always cut costs on the cheaper guys and then they keep the expensive guys.
And first of all, can we introduce our guest?
Oh, sorry.
Hey.
But then this mascot and the dentist, they'll talk. That's a different story.
All right. So I'm Jacqueline Mwangi, the Kenya national women's hockey team head coach.
All right.
And former national team player for both hockey and football.
And my neighbor growing up, by the way, I must say.
Kieni has
neighbors.
Professional football player, professional hockey player, and now head coach of the national women's hockey team.
My God.
Jackie Mwangi, welcome to the show. We're going to have a good time. Unfortunately, I hear you support Chelsea.
Yeah, it's my team.
How much money?
It's my team.
How much money do you have?
Before we get into the football, guys, just a couple of highlights of what we'll discuss today. Of course, Harambee Stars are in action against Zambia today, 4 p.m. on Friday. We're going to take a look at the London Marathon, of course, what happened to Eliud Kipchoge, and of course, celebrate all the athletes who participated. By the time you're running 42 kilometers, you're a champ.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, Nick Mwendwa has been at it again. Hey.
You have to give us that for 1-1. Moshene.
But before we get there, guys, there is this small matter, or should I say this numerical matter of how many goals were scored. I think the final score was 13-2.
No, you see,
I'm combining Liverpool and Man United's games. 13-2.
No,
Carol, at one point, we have to be mature.
Let's just grow up.
Let's just grow up. Keep the toys away. Yeah.
Put them in the toy
Before we
box.
get to your games, guys, I want us to look at the Arsenal game. I'll put you down for a minute. Forgive me.
Guys, that's how you know she's white. She talks to animals.
Look at the Arsenal game, guys. We were up against Sheffield United. First half, Arsenal did not even turn up. Second half, we had a moment of brilliance.
It's about the subs. It was about the subs.
But the minute we scored the second goal, the game ended.
No, it was about
that was Sheffield's game to lose.
It was about the subs. It was about the subs, and also Sheffield have finally realized that they're playing the Premier League. Remember, all these teams that come up in the first season, with the exception of Wolves and Leicester, they don't have the staying power.
No,
so they crack. But
Sheffield always give Arsenal a hard time. And for me, if you watch that game, a few more minutes, it would have ended in a 2-2.
As we say,
I'll not be harsh on Arsenal. We need to move to the next game.
You guys did well.
Because we got 3 points.
Yeah. You got 3 points against, remember, Savages.
Let's look at the Chelsea game. What happened in the Chelsea game?
My guy showed up. We scored 4 against Crystal Palace. Zench, 0. So I think we are fine. 3 points to Kosawa.
I keep telling you, Chelsea is a good team. It's just that when they get their act together,
they need to get their cohesion together.
They're just a good team.
And you know a hot chick. This is a London derby, so you're playing Crystal Palace. It's not normally an automatic win. Okay, now there are no fans in the stadium and everything.
Kenny, let's summarize it.
It's not automatic.
Kenny, let's summarize it. Yeah, it's simple. Arsenal, good chick. Once in a while, she puts bad makeup. Yeah, but the point is, but she's still a hot chick. The end of the day is, you guys just need time to gel. Eventually, it is gonna happen. And people better hope it happens late. Finish. We better hope.
No, actually,
but it's already started happening. Chelsea already gelling. It's already started happening. I want us to move on because there's so much to discuss today. The City game. Who knew that Man City would draw with Leeds?
No, Leeds, by the way.
Who didn't know that?
No, but let me tell you.
I thought it would happen.
The first game we played against Leeds, and I keep saying this.
Man City.
No, Liverpool, the first match, 4-3. Yeah. And we got 2 penalties in that game. Leeds play the ball. Exactly. They play the ball from the back.
Yes.
And they're
confident.
They're very confident with that football. I don't know where they got it from. Their counter-attack is mad. So when I looked at that result, in fact, I think at one point they were leading convincingly. City had to come back. But the reality is that Leeds are going to be a proper headache. Remember, championship side coming first season.
They're the Leicester.
Nothing to lose.
Carol, they're the Leicester of this season. Yeah. They're going to be that team that comes from the lower league and just cause havoc. That's who they are. The one who comes to stay. That's what they call it.
Now,
in other words, called an African neighbor.
There are 2 games that we're really ignoring.
Okay.
No, we're not ignoring. We just don't want to talk about it. You see, when you have an argument, you can't keep revisiting the issue.
I knew that Tottenham were going to give Man United a hard time. I think we sat here last week. Roy even said he's not sure whether Man United's going to win. It's going to be a tough game. But nobody thought Achiel Rea Deka ngwen a beach a Uchiel.
A beach.
There was a beach in Kisumu.
A beach.
Which other language? Can I?
There's a language.
Can
I count it in Kenyan?
Which other
1, 2, 3, wololo. That's how you count it in
No, that's the Liverpool one.
Let me just tell you something very simple, guys. Which one do you want to cover? The Man
United game first.
Man United game, let's cover it. No surprises to me. And I'm telling you, because I keep asking you guys, only one question, what's special about us? Nothing.
You're a mid-table?
We're a mid-table team. You know, a rich, ugly kid. That's what we are, right? Man United is a rich, ugly child who a chick has to go out with because they're nice abu pesa. But I'll tell you this about Spurs. They're a unit. They've always been a unit, Carol. They've always been. The only thing that has always plagued Spurs is that guys get injured at the wrong times. It's not that the team is not good. And let me tell you, one guy I will never underestimate again is Harry Kane.
I've never underestimated him.
No, Harry Kane is good on assists.
He's mind-blowing.
Goals. But you know the thing about...
Mind-blowing.
Okay, I'm not one to speak because...
And he's English. That's even more weird.
Because we're about to get to your game,
Yeah, about to get to mine. But the one thing that came out, which I've been saying all through and through, Manu, as the rich kid, have been spending money on the wrong players. I think Harry Maguire is not what...
Yeah, but the rich kid always gets the wrong chicks.
You brought in 2 players now. Is it 2 or 3 players? How many players did you bring in?
As guys brought...
are they going to help your season?
We bought some cartoon from this left back from Porto. Right? Not a bad player.
Yeah.
Right? But guys, we're fixing problems where you don't have problems. We bought Cavani because we need someone to tell an old man.
Maturity.
No, we just need an old guy to tell stories around the fire. I think we brought him as a soothsayer. You can't be that old and you brought him in to change the team. Guys, I think we're demanding too much out of him. Man United are fixing patches. Kuweka viraka. We are not solving problems. We're fixing patches. The problems have started, but as Kenny always said, we fix on top. We get rid of the bosses. Then we fix the problems properly. Carol, Man U is not a fix-it team. We're a solve-it team.
Can we go to Liverpool? So
wait, let me just say, Kenny, can I just say this? Can I just say it as a fact?
Yeah.
Man United are there. We're carrying, what's it called? We're carrying glue in cracks of the road. Glue doesn't
They're
work.
patching up.
We are patching up.
What
we
you know
need
about Man United?
to
I think
renovate
after
the
watching
damn
that
team.
game, they need to make some very drastic choices because they may have to go the Chelsea way, get rid of the so-called
bosses
of the team, just the players. There's some players
locker room changer.
Yeah, you just have to change.
The window's closed. They're stuck until...
We're stuck until January. We're talking about buying Sancho in January. We're talking about... us guys are those guys who
promise... You need them to get out of the relegation.
Yes, but we're parents promising Christmas gifts to kids. Ukikuja number 1, utapata toy.
Yeah.
So Alex Tele, you think you're back... Okay, you have a problem throughout.
Let me tell you.
Arsenal reporting Thomas Partey.
Can I put it simply? We don't have our sexy
midfielder, and we knew
You've sealed the middle.
We've sealed the gap.
Carol, we didn't get our sexy back.
You guys are broken.
We didn't get our sexy back.
I think the biggest problem...
Our sexy back and our sexy front.
No sexy.
No sexy.
Kenny, you guys, what happened?
I have no idea because I've been...
You were playing Villa.
No, champions. But they're not just champions, but champions by a mile. We're the team that holds the record by winning the league with 7 games to play. And...
Is that a record?
And it's the same guys with the exception of Hendo. And that's when I realized when the players started talking, all of them, Milner, Van Dijk, the coach, they don't know what happened. But me as a player, when I looked at it,
As a player.
You as a
I mean,
player.
sorry,
You as a player.
as a viewer,
You might as well have been a player.
exactly. I might as well go and play the number 8 or something, because you could see Grealish created everything, scored 2 goals, assisted in 3. He was a mess.
You never looked the problem.
The problem was in the midfield, and that's, everybody keeps asking, what does Hendo do? Henderson is that player who does his work and then shouts at everybody else to do their job.
And this time he's the one who was messing up.
He was not there. He's injured.
Okay, can I just...
wasn't
Oh, you're
there.
not there, sorry. Yes.
And you're also
now-
missing Mane, who was recovering.
We had Mane.
Oh, no,
and
Mane played.
No, we didn't have Mane. We had Keita and
Mane had
Fabinho
COVID.
playing in the
He
middle.
was recovering.
No,
He's black. Black people don't get COVID for long.
Listen. Then
They
we
get
have
it for like 3 hours.
The other guy who could have replaced Henderson, Fabinho, also out with COVID.
Jackie, are you listening to this crap?
Yeah.
The thing is, we were fixed. And even I just put it on a WhatsApp group, a sports group, which is very
Jackie,
passionate.
are you listening to this crap?
I
That's your,
I
that's your
just
neighbor
said,
talking.
kulimwa ni lazima. You have to lose some
No,
games.
you have to interrupt.
What do you think?
I think you guys were just
As a
unlike.
sports
Some of those goals were like deflection.
No, they're true deflections.
CG what? Those are just
Some of
weird
them were
goals.
unlucky.
That's
Honestly,
not
there were
what-
about
that
3
wasn't
that were
your day.
unlucky. But let me just say a fact.
Right,
Ken,
they considered 7, which means
but 3 or 4 were unlucky. Honestly, they were.
Yeah.
There were 3 deflections.
Yeah. That's too.
Yeah,
that's
those are
just
too
lucky.
many.
And let's still talk
Yeah, but
quickly
the
about
fact
Everton.
is, guys,
Then we
I'm
take our
sorry,
first break.
Kieni Githinji. Fact remains, you're a good team, but good people make mistakes once in a while. It's just your mistake game.
Kenny, what has Everton been doing well?
No, Everton,
Whoa,
by
ho,
the way,
ho.
Everton is not even the team I'm worried about. It's about Aston Villa. But Everton did their business early. They took a cue from their neighbors in Liverpool. Do your business early. They got James Rodriguez. They got all these players to the point where Theo Walcott left and went back to Southampton. His parents
sent
would class.
home.
He was sent home.
I thought you're going to go to Theo. Theo went to go to my here.
But he ended up going back home because the amount of talent they've been shopping around since the window started.
Guys, Kenny, you're
And then
getting
look
getting
at-
wrong. Kenny's
no,
getting
no,
wrong.
listen.
Kenny thinks it's about doing business early. They
no.
bought in the right positions.
Just hold on. Why are they buying in the right position? Who's their coach? It's the Italian guy.
That's my point. They bought in the
That's
right.
the guy
They
who
didn't
is
buy
making-
early. They bought the right
They
things.
did both.
Hey.
They did both.
Okay,
They
ma'am.
bought early,
Okay,
so they
ma'am.
had time to
Sawa.
gel
Sawa,
before the season
you're so
started.
boring. Making
You
it
won
Okay.
You have to
3
take a break,
points over
guys.
the
You have to take a
weekend and
break.
you think you
The
can
fact
just
is
shout at
Everton
us.
is the only team that are currently 4 out of 4. Let me see. Arsenal is in the top 4. If I look at the table,
no.
I can't even find Man United.
No, Man United is page 2.
Let's take our first break. When we come back, guys, we're going to talk a bit more to Jackie because there are things that are happening in Kenyan hockey
Yeah.
that we want to know about. Your
And
experience
we
as a
have to know
footballer.
what happened. What
and then,
are
of
you?
course, we'll touch on the London Marathon as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Welcome back. This is Mafanatics, where we are crazy about sports. And say hello to my friend. This is a Ganosaurus, not a, what did you call her?
Crocodile.
A crocodile.
Crocodile.
It's called One Crocodile Went to the Liver. And then let me tell you something. Some of us are crazy about football. Some of us are just
Crazy.
exactly. Let's move on.
My name is Radull. I'm with Kieni Githinji, Roy Karuhize, and of course Jackie Mwangi, who is the national women's hockey team head coach. The head coach of the national women's hockey team.
Yeah,
God,
it's a
help
long.
us.
It's a long title.
Yeah.
I'm going to
PhD,
talk to you in more
PhD.
detail just now because you are our fan of the day, of course, but we are also your fans. So we're going to get into that. But first, the London Marathon happened on Sunday, and we had very high expectations. We knew that Bridget Kosgei would win. We knew that Eliud Kipchoge would win. We were just expecting number 2 to the others, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Things didn't quite go our way.
Yeah.
Of course, Eliud, and I must say I'm interviewing Eliud live on Radull live on Saturday. I'm interviewing Eliud live on Radull live on Saturday, 1 to 2 p.m.
You're not going to run with him. Don't get carried away. Just calm
Yeah,
down.
but he had a legitimate reason,
For not.
which is that he got an earache on the 25th kilometer. And I'm just impressed that he actually finished. He finished in the top 8, which is his worst time ever in a competitive marathon. But I think that is the spirit of a champion for
Can
me.
I just say something about this man? The fact that someone can concede defeat so honorably just shows the level of maturity and standard of this player. He doesn't blame anyone. He blames himself and goes to work on himself.
And then take the easy route because he would have actually just dropped off the race.
Or that said
And
something.
nobody would have said anything.
And he'd have said, oh, my shoemaker got messed up. Just lies.
Yeah.
This guy is not a celebrity. This is a legend we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because this is the most mature level of a sportsman I've ever seen. So one thing is, hats off to him for how he behaved despite the problem.
Yeah.
And look forward to the next challenge.
My sad part is the way we handle the women thing. And you know, we've talked about Bridget. Bridget is a world record holder, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we talk about it in passing. We never
actually concentrate and see what she's done.
and say, what a woman.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right, don't say we, say I.
no, I say,
Hey, every
Carol,
opportunity
me
I
on the
get.
social medias. Na kuja kwa ma social
Bridget
medias.
Osgay is a superstar and has been one for a long time.
Carol, you're working on
World
an assumption
record
that just because you
has been one for a long time.
recognize it, you think that other people are looking and recognizing it in the same fashion. I am telling you, look at guys, they'll say, well done, but there's no but. Let's also put posts where we celebrate one person for what they have achieved without reference to anything else apart from her achievement. And I didn't like whenever people reference informed her achievements and Eliud Kipchoge's are independent. They're not related. So don't say, despite the fact that we are losing women, at least we got. There's no at least.
Yeah, but
we
who's
got.
saying that, Roy? That's you and your friends.
You don't have social medias. If you had social medias, they have those things.
I realize that most Kenyan fans who criticize any athletes at any level, and she'll tell you in hockey, in rugby, and everything, they actually don't pay attention to
Of
this.
course.
All they do is they turn up on the day, on a Sunday morning, watch the London Marathon.
Because they want to be
and then
relevant.
begin to critique ABCD. But they don't actually
You watch
these
it.
sports. They don't know the challenges you go through. They don't know the growth that anybody has made.
Yeah.
And us as fans, we failed a lot. We failed our athletes, basically.
Yeah, we
but I
have.
want to say well done to Bridget Kosgei.
Of course.
Ruth
Keeping
Kepngetich,
it,
I really
keeping
thought
it.
she'd be second, but hey, that was so.
And now Muzungu
what?
came from
No, but you know, there's the one thing about these Europeans and Westerners in this London marathon. There was no other marathon to select a team for the Olympics. This was it. So you would see, like, when Eliud started dropping back, the cameras went to Team GB because they want to see who's the first guy, who's leading.
Muzungu.
Who's likely to qualify
Who's
for
likely.
the Olympics,
And that was
basically.
it. So there was a lot of competition coming from
This
that
is
side.
Great Britain, not Great Bollocks. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
the Muzungus were using this to choose
Yeah, they were using it. Yeah.
who represents them. The sad part is, okay, I think these are just flashes in the pan. You know the thing with any Muzungu that comes in, they're not going to come back again. They're done and dusted.
No, that's what they said about
It's
the
never
London.
happened.
Don't dismiss
Apart
it,
from
Roy.
Paul,
Don't-
apart from
Radcliffe,
Paula
that's what they
Radcliffe,
said.
I was
the
going
way
to say,
that Sarah Hall ran, don't
No,
dismiss
no,
her.
no.
in
I've
50
dismissed her.
marathon.
I've guaranteed
She
you.
can't catch Bridget. Bridget is in a league of her
I
own.
guarantee
Yeah.
you.
But that woman is going to be a force to reckon
Okay,
with.
I guarantee you
Men's
that.
race, Vincent Chepchumba, of course, he came second for Kenya. I actually thought he was going to win because I looked at the last stretch. The Ugandan looked like he was slowing down. I looked at Vincent's build, which is not a marathon build, but he was near the front.
was
And I
in-
thought those long legs will get him across that finish line.
No, he gave a kick towards the end, but what?
Did you see the kick the little guy gave?
No, the thing about it, and somebody who
Roy's friend.
there's a friend
Let
of
me
ours.
tell
who
you
used to
something
be a
about
marathon.
bananas.
This is a guy who's run 2 hours 13, and he knows all these athletes. And you're saying the thing about I think he was called Kitata or something.
Kitata.
Yeah,
Shura
he was.
Kitata. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was lying behind the leading pack, so he didn't get the challenge up and until when he decided to go to the front.
Okay.
So everybody else has burnt out, trying to keep the pace between him and Kitata. Then now we are heading towards the end, and that's what's the difference.
Can I just tell you the sad part? Guys, let me tell you, someone who does 12, 13, 12, 12, 212 and 213, those are not, honestly, out
No,
of...
no, no. I'm
Yeah,
talking
but
about 10
Madara-
years
We're
ago.
talking about somebody who's giving an opinion, not someone who
Yeah, but I'm saying...
Guys, we need to, because of time, we need to get to Jackie. We've brought her all this way. I want to talk a bit about, at least for the next
yes.
couple of minutes, about you, what you do. Just tell us briefly about your career. First of all, you played professional football. When do you decide at some point I'm switching to hockey? Because
What's the story? Tell them where it started. Tell them where it started.
All right, so I started all with my cousins when I was young, and I used to go to play with them. I play hockey with them, I play football with them, and that's where my passion started. So when I was in primary school, When I was not at school, of course, on the weekends I was playing for Winnicas club.
So where were you guys playing hockey? Which grounds were you using?
No, this is
Just for the grounds, just anywhere outside. You know? Yeah.
It's field hockey. It's not.
Yeah, the same pitch as a
fields.
football.
Okay.
Just any open field.
Yeah.
Okay, and then football, same thing.
Football, same thing. With
But
my
Kenny
cousins.
tells us a story that you used to play with boys.
Yeah, I used to
Not,
play
I mean,
the-
in terms of the sport, not to play with boys.
Hey.
Yeah, most of them are my cousins
Yeah.
and my neighbors, and they're the ones who molded me to be a very good player. Yeah.
So you need to go with rough men in order to learn how to.
So
control
which
sports.
professional teams have you played for?
Okay,
And what's in
so
store for Kenyan hockey?
for football, I got a scholarship to the US.
Are you serious?
Yes, so I went there for about 4 years, four years, but I stayed over there for 10 years. Got my coaching certifications there. When I came back
For football or hockey?
for football.
For football?
Yeah, so when I came back after high school, I mean, that was, I went there after high school. But while I was here during high school, I used to play for my club in the holidays, football. And then in school, I used to play hockey.
Okay.
So
Do you
So
ever
you're
play-
doing both at the same time.
I was
in high
just
school.
doing,
So
it was
you
just
do-
alternating.
You played for the national football team also?
Yes, when I was under 16, there was a team that was supposed to go to Dallas in the US. So
The
I
Kenya
made that
national
team, the
team.
Kenya national team. So I made that team, but as you know,
You use the word supposed to, which means it's a Kenyan team. It was supposed to do
so
things.
it didn't work out then.
Okay.
But my high school sponsored me to go there, and so I
Amazing.
went there. At least I got to watch the games, and then come back home.
Yeah. So you played football, a lot of football in America, which means you got exposed to the size and scale of the game for women in
Yeah.
America
Yes,
before you came here. And then now you're currently...
I'm currently the head coach for hockey.
So
When I
the
came
hockey
back, when I came back, I just got into Telcom. I wanted to play for a team, Telcom then. I wanted to play for a team that was passionate about playing, you know, go-getters, of course, established.
Yeah.
So I joined them, and I've been there for the last 15 plus years, yeah.
Telcom, of course, is the club that has won everything.
Yes, now Blazers.
You've won, now it's Blazers after
Yeah.
Telcom would do their sponsorship.
Yeah.
And I believe you've won the league, 13 times in a row?
Oh,
Something
it's more like
ridiculous
20.
More like 20
22
times in a row.
now.
Hey, you and your humility!
What do I say?
And then, of course, the national team. National team, we don't hear as much about the national team as we do in club hockey. Club hockey, we shine on the continent. National team, we just hear, when it comes to Africa, it's South Africa, and then, is it Egypt? Who else has a strong national team?
Right now,
Hey,
it's
Egypt is strong.
Ghana,
Yeah,
and Zimbabwe.
what's lacking with the Kenyan national hockey team?
I think when we move from club to national, we have to integrate more players in. So that cohesion, we don't get to
It didn't pick up as fast.
It normally picks up like in the last championship we went to in SA. The last game for me was a thing that made me know that we could actually move up.
Yeah, you could
Because
go all the
now
way.
the team had gelled. We played well against SA. We lost 3-0, but it was a good show. I mean, you could see, yeah, it was a good performance.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you think Kenya hockey has gone up, then dropped a little bit? Is it on the way back? Where do you think it sits right now?
I think right now we are just about to
Go back up.
To take a
yeah,
spike
because
What improvement?
right now, like for the men's, there was a big transition between the team 2-3 years ago and now. It's just young players. So
okay.
they've now gotten the exposure, same as the girls. So we should be able to. They're not afraid anymore. So they should be able to pick up.
Rebuild from there.
Yeah. So we were just rebuilding, as far as I'm concerned.
Where are we ranked around in Africa, by the way?
I think right now we are 4th after the last championship. We are
Okay.
4th, but
But the challenges
we
South
should
Africa,
go up.
yeah.
But she told me she's in charge of things which are bigger than South Africa. You're in...
in the Athletes Commission, the
Yeah.
International Hockey Federation, and I'm the current chairperson of the Africa Athletes Commission.
What does
You're-
it do?
Is that like CAF for hockey?
Yeah,
It's
like
United
a-
Nations
CAF for
for...
hockey.
Yeah.
It's like
United-
UEFA for hockey in Africa.
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
I'm speaking a language that people understand.
Yeah.
Anaongea genge.
So what's in store for Kenyan hockey? What are the challenges? What can we do to begin to compete with the likes of South Africa?
Well, I think one thing that I like the Kenya Hockey Union has done over the last 3 months is that they've been educating their our coaches.
Ah.
So, through NOC and FIH, there's been a partnership. So we are now getting our coaches on the ground ready to coach the right way.
They
coach
the coaches up to
they're up to speed.
Standard,
Yeah.
So
We don't have problem with the players. Players are passionate. They're passionate about the sport. They'll play anyway.
What I find very interesting.
Are players paid? Are players paid?
I think that's also the other thing. That's the main problem.
It's more of passion.
It's more of passion. We're not paid.
Players paid. Then she said, as players paid. Then she said, are they played? Same thing.
They're played, not paid.
But I guess
but it's unfortunate because there's a certain level of professionalism you need,
Yeah.
and you're demanding commitment from these players.
Yes.
And they should get their daily bread from the sport. Otherwise, they have to go and hustle.
That's why I want to ask you about something. You're in charge of an institution that runs Africa in terms of hockey.
Yes.
And I wonder, I know how the South Africans look at you. But then the fact remains is, what are they doing right that we are not doing? Because their hockey is another.
Right, simple. They pay their players.
Okay.
They don't play them.
Ma'am. Hey, ma'am.
no, but there's one thing she said about.
Am I right?
Yes, is that, and also the new methodologies of playing. You see, if there's a team like Leeds can be competing, there's something they're doing this
At the same level.
At the same level.
No, exactly.
So we have to move from the old way of coaching to the new way.
So
Maybe we have to go to the rugby way.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to talk about.
That's where we're moving.
Where you get international new systems.
No, what KHU is doing is exactly what the rugby union did under Mwangi there, and said coaching school team coaches through certification, because you see you have to put the training as early as possible, so that by the time these guys are receiving guys in club, these guys
they're basics.
They're not taking into basics.
They're not taking basics. I remember when I played rugby in St. Mary's as a very hocus pocus player.
1970.
and I could twang and play at the same time. Yeah. At that time, you could find people not basics like picking a ball. I like the ball. They didn't know how to.
Or spinning it as you pass.
They are picking the ball like they're picking eggs or picking dates from their family. I mean, it's amazing that you're talking about that, and that requires money.
Yes.
Any investment coming in?
We are only praying. We are
Goodness,
just
why
the
is
last
Kenya?
time we spoke on radio was when Telkom had just backed out, and Telkom was one of the biggest sponsors of Kenya Hockey.
Yes.
Which is very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate because those players that was their daily bread. Now they're out there fending. So you're like, can you come for training? They're like,
okay.
There are 100 things that can change sport in this country. If you had to put in terms of priority, what's the one thing that will be the first thing we need to do to change sport from your perspective in terms of what you do? There are 100 things you want. I want money. I want this. I want
maybe
coach.
I can say 2 things.
Two.
Give two.
Apart from the funding, because that's the obvious one, but infrastructure as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Infrastructure is important because I can't
infrastructure and funding.
Infrastructure and funding.
Why does she do that? I try to avoid funding.
Can't count.
Funding has to be there.
I try to avoid funding. No funding, you don't count it.
You don't count it. It's
Although
supposed
we
to be
counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today you can't count
Infrastructure and funding.
Those two.
That's
it.
In SA, I had a friend who was going for a coaching course, and she went to their Mashinani, and there's an AstroTurf pitch, like in Madare. There's AstroTurf.
In the ghetto.
Where
there are no twins.
The lowest quality, but it's there.
It's there if you want to use it.
But when you say infrastructure is clear, you need proper grounds and stadiums and all that stuff. When you say funding, from where?
First and foremost from
Jesus
government.
provides.
First and foremost from government, because number one, government can sort out the infrastructure problem.
Okay.
Number two, we want our big companies or anyone to be able to chip in as well. But plug in the right way. For example, if I want to fund maybe the women's football team, for example, there has to be some kind of I don't even know if the word responsibility, or we need to account for the accountability, for transparency. And
there's fear from corporates.
Yes, and that is the fear. So if there's a way we can be able to solve that problem of accountability, then we should be good to go.
Oh my God.
All right, guys, we do have to take our second break really quickly. When we come back, we are going to look at Harambee Stars. We are also going to Nick Mwendwa. There's the quote of the day. That's
Nico.
coming up right after the break. Welcome back. This is Mafanatics, where we are crazy about sports. And yeah, before the break, we're having a conversation with Jackie about some of the challenges of managing sport in this country and taking it from amateur to professional. And I hope we can get there one day, because as head coach of the national women's hockey team, I want to see us move to the next level, but we totally understand the challenges you're facing.
Can I just go back to one thing before we
Yes.
jump from there? You know, there's this thing where parents are not seeing sport as an industry. And I look at Jackie because we grew up together, and that's what she did. I didn't know about her grades or whatever, but she was good in sport. And that's what you do till today, right?
Yeah.
So your profession is actually, your studies were around sports.
Yes. Yes, my studies were around sports. In terms of my passion for sport, I went into coaching, but I also made sure that I have a backup plan as well. I have a Bachelor of Science from USIU in Information System and Technology, so that's my backup. Yeah, and that's I use it for teaching as well at Hillcrest.
But Kenny, you started by saying parents. Are you blaming parents?
No, it is, because you see, let me tell you, when we were growing up, there's this thing about your folks. When you tell them I'm doing sport, they always think you're just wasting time. Why aren't you concentrating on your books? You're supposed to be turning into a doctor, an architect, a professional.
You know, in a way, I can't blame the parents, because when they look...
They've seen the results.
If you want to be a footballer, for example, and somebody's telling you you're going to play for what? Even the biggest team in Kenya, Gor Mahia or AFC Leopards. All you ever read in the papers is that they're on a go slow because they're not being paid. The allowances have delayed. They don't have sponsorship. The league doesn't have sponsorship. So
you can't blame the parents.
Do I take my son to a proper school where they get an education and get a job sitting behind a laptop? Or do I risk where they're going to come to me for bus fare because they can't attend training?
How about you do this? You expose them, because you see, you look at the same thing, like for example with let's not talk about the usual sport. Let's even take golf or cricket or something.
Hey, umeskuma goal.
Now, if you look at those parents, and that's even swimming, it's an extremely expensive sport to sponsor. But the parents who go out of their way to do it, the thing is
but
that
you have to have means.
It's a gamble.
Even
when you're poor,
you cannot be a poor parent and take your
Hey,
Let me tell you, I used to go home.
if you're poor, you can only swim in a river. Kenny, please.
We also have parent who says at the very least they have to buy the air tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Okay.
You're telling a normal Kenyan parent that every time your child goes to compete for Kenya,
No,
you have
Carol.
to pay the air tickets.
Carol, let me
to
tell you.
Singapore.
What makes
Kenny
you
face
think
a
you can't, no, because I always look at it from this point of view. Me, I always say, look, as a parent, you're struggling to pay school fees. If you look at some of these professional athletes, they didn't pay for college, they didn't pay for some section of
In
high
which
school.
country?
Whatever it is, because even the guys...
No, don't ignore the country.
No, listen.
Don't
even
ignore the country.
Even the guys,
The
the Morans who
sport
came and
industry-
played, the Morans who came and played for Kenya, they left their Masenos, their Aquinas and whatever, went to play for ISK on scholarship. You guys in Saints used to take players from other guys to go and play on scholarship.
And you know what they did? They took those scholarships and used them to do other things.
Kenny, you know what?
Not to play
the
sport.
industry has to work. You're
Systems
saying they're
have to
paying
work
school
in
fees
order to
because
cope.
I know if my son is a doctor, he'll be able to go and work at Nairobi Hospital because there's something. The industry at the top.
Kenny, the systems.
So what are we saying? The problem is GOK.
No,
By
yeah.
the way, it's good you mentioned the Morans.
Yeah.
Most of them don't play in Kenya.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
But how many opportunities are there
How many?
for kids to become a Wanyama or an Olunga?
Is that the only way out?
Football
Kenny,
is where
Kenny,
the
Kenny,
talent
Kenny,
is flooded in this
Kenny,
country.
Kenny.
Let me ask you,
Kenny, can I just say something?
They will be absorbed in a Kenyan Premier League that doesn't pay you.
Kenny, to just emphasize what Carol has said, it's very
It's the
simple.
same in volleyball.
Kenny,
It's the
a
same in-
system has to work to propel you to be who you can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, right? And let me tell you, and that's why Africans, you complain about the most basic things, transport, what? If systems don't work, then you can't expect people to continue to insist on supporting a system that doesn't work. You go with the flow. You go with the flow.
I want to ask Jackie.
You're asking me to make someone a musician when it's not paying.
Hold on. When you were playing sport, what did your folks think? And that's why you got your
She's
scholarship.
one case.
Just hold on, because listen.
Let Jackie answer. Let Jackie answer.
What did the folks think? How did she?
Jackie, what did your folks think?
My folks were very supportive. They said, let's do whatever we can. Yeah, so they just
propel her.
to propel.
But it was a gamble.
It was, of course, it was a gamble.
and they needed that backup degree.
Yes.
No, the degree you're going to get because you're going on a scholarship anyway.
Kenny, can I ask you, you expect all Kenyan families to be gamblers?
No, at one point you have to gamble, Roy. You're gambling even when you wake up and walk to the street.
Kenny, even Jackie will tell you how many hockey players she played along with and how many will end up being coaches or national.
Exactly.
Okay, sour.
The odds are so low.
Yeah.
No, of course.
So if you will make sure your child gets a real job. Which is a sad state.
Guys, we have to respect
It's a sad
state of affairs. Kenny, when you look at the probability and the chances determine what you do in your life. Let me tell you, anything in life is all about you always weigh your chances against where the majority works.
Yeah.
If 75% of the time you see something not happening, you won't take that route. So don't ever ask people to take risks, right? What you need to do is build people to understand that we're reducing your risks. That's what the job of a government or a system is, to reduce the risks of people investing or doing things. I am telling you 100%. You look at music industries, right? Yeah. Don't tell people, oh, you need to be open-minded enough to let your child become a musician.
Never took a risk.
Show
me one.
Okay, can I tell you something?
Show me one.
Can I just tell you something? You
can. How many
wait.
That status?
Wait, Kenny, I'll answer that question right now, Carol. You take a risk where the backup or the foundations are strong. You don't take a risk where there's rubbish foundations. Let me tell you, those Egyptians, the Israelites crossed the Red Sea. Even Moses, they told him, boss, to Eshmiane Apa. We are pushing it. It's called a blind risk.
Yeah, but it's a risk.
But the Egyptians were behind them.
They're coming.
We're going to talk about this till the cows come home. I want to send some shout-outs to some guys I know are really, really waiting for the show. Ochiweda, he watches every show from... he says from Timbuktu and Mesopotamia. Guys, decide which one you're watching from. Princess Nelly, a shout-out to her. Edward Ombongi, he's watching from Dubai and he's a hardcore Man United supporter. Very brave of you to decide to watch today. Xavier Gitao Masharia. By the way, he co-hosted my... fan show the other day with me on Monday. A very sober Man United supporter.
Unlike Roy.
Hurting. So shout out to you because I know you're in pain. Steve Blessing, Raima Jaka, she's also a Man United. And it was just Man United supporters on this timeline of ours.
You know they've become
Norbert
religious. They're all saved.
is a Liverpool fan like you.
Yes.
So Norbert Pole Sana to you, but thanks for watching the show. Charles Kinywa Kamwaria, Marvel. By the way, guys, thank you so much for your patience.
Yeah, of course. Let me tell you something. There are so many Manu guys who are in church right now. Let me tell you, churches are full.
Churches have been open.
Yeah, once they're open.
Don't get you players.
Let me tell you. Carol, when things were opened, Arsenal went to the bar, Manu went to church. That's what happened.
4 p.m. Friday, Harambee Stars playing a friendly against Zambia. It will be live on Star Times.
Yes.
Last week when we were here, we were discussing how Arnold Origi had been included.
Okay.
Whether we don't have any other goalkeepers who can come through the ranks. Our general consensus, I'll ask you though, was that why not draw from his experience as we groom the next generation of
stars,
good goalkeepers.
Yeah.
But Origi, Wanyama, Ayub Timbe, and Michael Olunga, they're unable to come for this friendly. Of course, COVID has just...
Guys are still doing
that's the thing, Carol. Why would you, before even we get to the Harambee Stars itself, why is FIFA and UEFA and all these
endorsing friendlies?
Friendlies under COVID doesn't make sense because you're pulling people out of bubbles. So if it's Liverpool Football Club, they've created a bubble, which is part of the reason why the league...
To protect their league.
If it's a player in Japan, Olunga, if it's a guy, whatever he is...
So you think it's a health hazard, basically?
Of course, the club is going to tell you...
I've created let me call it an enclave.
Yeah.
We've created a whole dome where we're protecting our league. And then you tell us to go mix with cartoons somewhere else.
Yes.
Right? Let me ask, I know that we need to keep fit and national teams need to do, but there must be easier ways to sort this problem out.
You want them to play on Zoom?
No, they shouldn't just be international. You see,
Ambilla time for that.
Hold on, Roy.
Ambilla time for that.
No, Roy. I have to say something on that.
I'm bigger than this.
And maybe you can help me.
I'm bigger than this.
Look, you see, the reality is the calendar is already tight because we don't know where we're gonna be next summer.
It's one of the reasons those international players can't even come.
They can't even travel. You've got League Cup matches on top of FA Cups and what?
Risks.
Then you have Champions League. You have
league
matches.
We have a very compressed season, so we have to respect the fact that.
And then you're throwing in a friendly.
Then you're throwing in stuff.
Friendly.
You know that thing where your kids already eating bad food, then you just say, yeah, chewing gum. You know, just that from nowhere. Control the food.
Of course, our challenge is unique because the league hasn't been on, so players were just called from how many months since February, March they've not played.
Yeah.
Then you're thrown into the national.
To Kenny's point,
I agree with Kasarani for 4 days.
Kenny,
and then you have no.
It's not a priority. It's not a priority.
In terms of hockey, what are you being told in terms of when you can get back? Can people
the season.
train or players training by themselves? What's the situation amongst professionals?
Well, right now we had to give the players a training program, but it's been difficult
because we can't follow through.
We can't follow through. We have players in Kisumu, we have players in Nakuru, some
and
Mombasa.
you can always train alone.
Yeah, so we need to get together as soon as possible, even though it means that we use social distancing at the beginning.
What does that mean? And you're playing a sport?
Anything.
What is
just 2-3 meters away? It's better than.
So
nothing.
Don't come close to me. I've got a ball.
Don't come close.
No, or you just say,
just for training.
Yeah, you say we're doing sets in the morning. We'll do 7. Then in the afternoon we'll do this because that's the only way you can.
It's as logical as telling a family to keep social distancing.
Yes.
Munge kutoka bedroom yako. I mean you can't. And you're in a half bedroom house. Yeah? Guys, let's be realistic. Yeah. Despite the challenge, how soon are you thinking you guys might be on a, I want to say, stable setting? Realistically, do you see things?
I personally, I think this Harambee Stars thing is and I think rugby is back on. If I'm not,
they're trying to get guys.
And you guys in football and hockey.
I think they are the guys to look at.
Or use them.
Use them. So maybe in a month or so, hopefully.
You can tell the ladies.
We need to be back because we are hosting a tournament in March.
You're hosting a tournament?
There was a tournament.
The time we talked.
Which one?
Rephrase. We are hoping to host a tournament.
We are hoping.
Which tournament is this? Which tournament is this?
They've done now regional tournaments so that we can grow the sport. So we have it's a East African
club championship,
like a qualifier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're
a qualifier for the World Cup.
No, you do the regional one and then you go to a main one. So that we
for
can
Africa,
have more countries participating.
So it's for the region first.
It's a regional.
So for the regional one, you're hoping to host that in March?
Yes, in March.
Let me ask you, do you guys know who your players are right now? Are you solid in terms of understanding that these are our players and the ones we are sure about at the moment? You know, Kenny and Carol have talked about the fact that a lot of players have been off on. So how are you able to judge who should be in the national team or not?
We'll know when we see them.
They have to come and train.
But there is a list. We have players already.
You know how to choose them?
Yes, we know them.
Tunakuana.
There are other internationals that are happening. By the way, there's some that are already starting. I can't even talk about them. England, Wales should be on already. Tomorrow, Japan, Cameroon, Mali, Ghana, Morocco, Senegal, Nigeria, Algeria at 9:30 p.m. on Friday. Some.
Let me tell you, Carol, what's
mixing all over the continent.
Exactly. What we're going to have here, first of all, you have
COVIDology.
And I imagine a lot of professionals from Europe won't
show up. They won't show up because, let me tell you, these guys are in bubbles. And that's where you earn your money. And you're being told go and play in Africa. You're going to play in Guinea-Bissau or whatever you're going to play.
Can I tell you something?
Whatever.
I'll summarize what Kenya said.
And
you're too rich to be sick.
Yeah, exactly. And the bigger thing is, Roy, these leagues in Europe and wherever they are in the first world have lost so much money from TV viewership. Then then of course stadium attendance. And then now you're telling them that we risk. Then we have a COVID outbreak and then they have to shut down again. Surely
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
The fact remains, I think friendlies are not a priority.
They're not
a priority.
I thought, in fact, like qualifiers or something.
This year has taught us one thing. This year has taught us that we need to learn to appreciate what we have. The problem is we're getting greedy and
that's why Africa is ahead of everyone. Africa.
Carol, we're trying to resume all the things we left out and resume. No, you can't. What this year has taught us is look at the 10 things you have and choose the 5 which matter and concentrate those for now.
Work with those.
Work with those. You can't go back to life as usual. It can't. You can't say, oh, we used to have. I mean, NBA finals right now are being played, right? With fans being put on screens.
On screens.
Or little small screens.
Yeah.
Where the guys qualify to zoom in. When they zoom in.
That's how the EPL is also being played.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but then, do you know they pay bucks to decide if your surah gets shown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why whether you're a simple boy, your face can be shown there, and then your whatever it is, or Arab boy, don't look at me like that. I'm just giving an example. I didn't diss him. I said a musician, Arab boy, Nai boy. Okay, I've done boys. So, yeah. So they start flicking celebrities. I was using him as a celebrity, not as a Surambaya. So they start flicking guys who are able to pay to be able to view those matches. So with NBA, you find out that the guys who on Zoom, they're big guys are paying big bucks.
Big bucks, yeah.
To be the faces on those games. And the players are struggling in the sense that, do you know what the NBA had to actually concede? That as much as we were playing these finals, they said, home court, had people physically been there, would not be seeing the same games. It's a totally different life. So we have to understand and appreciate life is not going to be the same. Accept it and see how you adapt it. And the people who win are the guys who adapt, who accept. The ones who are resilient and try and fight will never win. So demonstrations make unje.
But then you're sort of contradicting because you're like, okay, then let the friendlies happen because if they don't, it means
no, because what I'm just saying is the NBA finals have to happen, so they have to make a condition to happen.
I'm talking now back to
but I'm just saying also in the football situation where if you don't need it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't. It's not a priority.
Especially in a season
because doing it
is so cramped up.
Doing it badly is worse.
Exactly.
I like to think that by the time FIFA endorses all these friendlies, they've done their homework.
I hope so.
Can you imagine guys are
followed through?
Guys are struggling to watch the main games. Now tell them to watch a friendly.
But what is scary, by the way, nobody's telling you to go for a friendly, yeah? But what is scary is the fact that every week, last week we had Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
Every week we're getting a player in a Premier League club that is getting infected with COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they've taken all precautions.
All.
You know?
Exactly.
So,
and it's just getting out of hand.
No, it's getting out of hand. Guys, let's accept
and these leagues can't afford any more losses further. Let me tell you, right now they're on shoestring budget. You know, even like the fact that Chelsea spent that kind of money just because they were not spending in the other window. But look at everybody else. Everybody else has struggled.
Okay, I'm in a window of where I tell you, make priorities, and then act like COVID doesn't exist. In this sense, let's keep the energy, the passion, the love,
to keep it moving.
Keep things moving.
Guys, I want us to wrap the show also because it's really late.
You said you support Chelsea, yeah?
Yes.
But you're moving to Manu, and how much money do you need? I'll give you a check.
No, he's looking for cultured people.
How much cash do you need?
As you said, it's like an ugly rich person. She don't want to be with an ugly man. I saw like her Chelsea down.
Okay, my face like this, but I have a beautiful
Guys,
heart.
I have to leave with a Nick Mwendwa quote.
Are you serious?
No.
But you're having so much
Apparently,
fun.
he said that he's not campaigning for the election because he doesn't need to. He says right now he's focused on improving football standards at the grassroots and not the FKF elections. He says, actually, I have no strong opponent.
Okay.
And I'm working.
That guy sounds so much like Donald Trump.
Can I tell you the cold, harsh truth?
What?
He's right.
I know
all the guys who are running,
and
I told all these guys from.
Let's listen to this story.
All the guys, if you guys ever want to remove
Nick Mwendwa.
How long did the opposition try to remove MO1, and it didn't happen until they came together?
Yes.
To get rid of somebody like Nick Mwendwa, you're not going to do it. Each of you
fragmented.
With your big egos, fragmented. If you look at some of these manifestos, like Herbert Mashira's manifesto, very impressive. Football, soccer, machinani, all that stuff, very impressive. I think Habor for me is a bit too.
St. Mary's.
To win a football election, you have to get your hands a little bit dirty.
But to be honest,
and then clean up your act when you get inside. Yeah. You're not going to get into FKF by saying please and thank you.
No,
Yeah.
but honestly, let me ask you a question.
You'll have to force your way in.
Habo has manners. That's
Yeah,
his
he has
problem.
manners. That's the thing. He has manners.
You have to
And
force
but
your
you see,
way in. You have to force your
Nick
way in.
Mwendo has actually done stuff. Let's not take it away from
In
him.
Yeah.
the recent past, by the way.
Yeah,
He has
he was
signed-
asking
he
you
has
whether
signed
the
sports
women's league
duties.
is up. He said it's
The
up.
women's league
There's
is up
some
and
football
running.
going on. The youth system is, there's something.
guys,
The
no.
Stars are playing tomorrow. We haven't as yet heard of it.
Can I tell you guys something? You know what you guys
But
have
I'm
brought?
not a Nick. Don't think I'm a Nick.
She's not campaigning.
If he's working, you can't deny it.
She's not campaigning for him, but let's get the point straight, yeah? The fact is what these guys have both summarized is something that actually goes back to COVID. There's a level, you go back to Alex Ferguson, let's go through dictators. Michael Jordan, dictator, as a leader.
Pat Riley.
Yeah, dictator. Roy Keane,
Yeah,
dictator. Let me tell you something. Bullies sometimes are needed in order to bring sense to the common man. Arrogance sometimes works. I'll talk about Rwanda, I'll talk about Tanzania, and I believe in dictatorship because I believe sometimes you need to slap that man in order for him to get a
Don't
change.
talk about
I sound
yourself.
like Patrice Evra. Did you see Patrice
You
Evra's review?
slap that
Wait,
man
did you see Patrice Evra's review on Sky News after
about
the Man United
dictatorship.
game?
I hope he's supporting
First of
dictatorship.
all, he asked if he could resign there and then because he said he does.
He cannot-
can't- He's so angry.
He cannot
and
analyze that team.
Analyze the Man United.
crap.
team.
You slap
And then he said, "I am not a violent man, but someone there needs to be slapped."
Yeah! Slap that man!
Chapa Mutu.
Dictatorship works. It works. That's why there's no corona in Rwanda. Corona came, they looked at, huh?
Roy, stop.
Trump, stop it.
Guys, we have to go. The show is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have to show off my jersey. This is Vixen Football Club. They used to play in the. I don't know if they're still in the Women's Premier League.
Oh, okay.
I was given this by my niece, Mukambi
Hey,
Wabora.
your stomach has become nice.
And
Banana, this thick
she gave it to me when I was fat. It finally fitted me. But this is, that was about 3 years
sexy
ago.
front in a
Yeah, he's sexy
So,
front.
Mukambi,
You know, as
I'm
guys are seeing our
finally
own
wearing
things.
your jersey,
Roy is
your
looking at other things.
team jersey. She was personally sponsoring the Vixen.
Roy is not looking at the.
Do you know what I've had, Carol?
And then from
Focus,
myself and the Ganosaurus,
Me, I'm wearing my own things.
my crocodile and I were going. Thank you so much, Jackie, for coming.
Yeah, before we finish up, I'd like to make a tribute to the former Kenya goalkeeper,
Yes,
Rosemary
Starlets.
Kanyundi,
Yeah.
played for the Starlets. She's my former teammate.
Oh,
she rested, I think, last week. So
On Sunday.
On
yeah,
Sunday,
after a
yeah.
short illness.
yeah, so
She's only
it's really
44
sad.
years old. That's
Wow.
Really sad. Very passionate about life. So
She's the one who pushed you to the game proper.
At some point, she was a Starlet goalkeeper.
Are you serious? We raise a
Yeah.
glass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, raise a glass to Rosemary.
yeah, to Rosemary.
You imagine him, Mingi.
Hey, Kosawa.
Cheers. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience. And
stay
next
crazy.
week we'll make sure
Tell
we're
them
live from 8 to 9 p.m. on Thursday. But thank you so much. You're lucky it's an international week. So guess what? Man United and Liverpool are not going to concede any goals this weekend.
And we're not sending any players anywhere.
It's been real. See you next week.
I
This
keep quiet.
is Mafanatics, where we're
Crazy
crazy about
about.
sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.